Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial of Knights of Honor 2. I just want to show you a little bit how the game works and how best to start the game off if you're new to it. Because there's a lot of things here on the screen that might be a little overwhelming at first if you're not familiar with the game. But really it is quite easy, and I'm just going to show you how to start off. Now, every settlement, or every nation rather, that you start with starts with a certain amount of settlements. Like for example, Sicily here has 1, 2, 3 and 4 settlements. And I have one main character up here. This here is my king. You can see that here on the little crown up there. And what I always like to do first is hire some more characters in order so they can govern the cities. So I can have a governor in each city, because they give you certain bonuses. So that's what I always try to do first. You can see here in Bari I already have a governor right here. It says it right here, governed by Count Roger II, and here you can see all the different bonuses he gives the town, which are quite a lot. So he is a diplomat. I'll tell you a little bit more about the characters here in a bit, but since he's a diplomat, he gives the town these bonuses here, and it says right here 1 commerce, and back here it says ×5, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 settlements in this province here. Now here I don't have a governor, so what I want to do is hire another character. Now you got these 5 characters here. Start with a marshal, that's your army commander. Merchants, you need those for trade. Diplomat, you need those for relations and trade with other nations. You got a cleric and a spy, which helps you infiltrate other countries. So what I want to start off with is a merchant.
What a fine day to trade.
And this merchant, for example, I can put in, let's say, this city right here. See here I can choose them, to choose the characters. Count Roger's already right here. So I'm going to select this, and right here. Now one thing, you hover over this, and now you got to right click here, and now you can actually, now it stays here, that window. So that's how that works. Hover, right click, and now it tells you what kind of bonuses this merchant gives you, which is +1 gold, ×4 because you have 5 settlements, and +0 commerce in villages. Depends on character level. So we have to talk about character level here in a little bit too. So I can, for example, put him in here, or I could put him in here. And right here it will give +1 ×5 because I have 5 provinces, which might actually be a better deal. It gives me +1 more gold.
Money will flow like a river to you.
So let's put him in here. And now you see you got 9 open spots. So at the beginning you're probably good with 4. Hire 4 characters right at the beginning to give a governor for every town. And then later on you can gradually hire more and more characters, because they don't cost a lot. You can see it costs you 200 gold, so that's not too bad. You can hire as many as you want. You might want to get a diplomat at first, which we maybe don't need now because he's a diplomat.
Everybody loves me.
So what I want to get next, maybe another merchant.
I cannot wait to hear your orders.
So let's put another merchant, for example, right here.
Only the finest goods will be produced here.
And if you start the game now, nothing changes. At first you have to wait a few seconds, so he has to actually kind of travel over here and, you know, fill. It takes a while till he actually gets there. Now, you got you got 5 different characters and you got 9 slots. So now you have to always think how many merchants you want, how many diplomats and how many marshals and so on. That depends on what kind of a play style you want to play, because if you play like Greedy King, you can select your amount of gold. Like that's my last playthrough I did. Once you achieve 35,000 gold, you win the campaign, or 200,000 gold, you win the campaign. Now, if you play as Greedy King, you might want to have a lot of merchants that make you a lot of money. If you play as Peasant Rush, for example, which is dominate 5, 10, up to 100 provinces, you might want to need a lot of marshals. Or Destroy Kingdom, also probably want to use a lot of marshals, and so on. So you got to consider that. Now you do definitely want to have, at least always have one cleric.
You can confide in me.
You do want to have a spy, maybe not at the beginning if you're not at war, but you do want to have a spy if you are at war, or before you go to war.
Everything has a price.
Let's say you want to go to war with, here, those guys on Naples. Let's say Naples, they're right here beside us, but you don't know how many troops they got. So you can click on the spy.
You were very wise to hire me.
Click on Infiltrate Kingdom and select Naples. Where are they at?
Nice. Right, I like this job.
So now that takes a while for him to travel there. Matter of fact, you can see that right here on that. There's a little green bar. You see that? And it keeps growing, growing, growing. And once that's filled up, he's actually here. And then you can see their troops. And that is very important before you have a war. And now, we do have a merchant, diplomat, spy, and a cleric. See, hold on. Kingdom infiltrated. He successfully infiltrated Naples. So now I can actually look and see what they got. See, they got one commander, one marshal in here with 3 cheap peasant units, and they is governed by this guy here. So now you see they're actually quite inferior to you. So now you might want to raise an army if you can and attack them, because you know how much they got. So the way I do it, always depending on what kind of play style you have, and I want to always have like 3 or let's say 2 to maximum 4 merchants, 2 to maximum 4 marshals, and then the rest fill them up with 1 cleric, 1 diplomat, and 1 spy. Now sometimes I have 2 diplomats too. If you want to improve relations, for example, with another country, which by the way you do like here, right here.
The world at your fingertips.
You can click on your nation right here. Hold on. Click on your nation and then you can actually see they're all neutral with you. They're all, matter of fact, you click on here, for example, see, neutral. They're completely neutral to you. Now this Naples here is a little green. That's the only one really. That means they're sympathetic. See, it says down here 112. So they kind of like you. And you can click on Naples and see who's friends with them. Matter of fact, you got a list right here, which is the beginning of the game. You don't see nothing here yet. Oh, but you see right here, for example. See, they got allies. They got enemies already, and they got friends. Now, we don't have nothing yet. We have to start doing that first. So you can click, for example, here, Germany, audience. And then you get all these different trade agreements, for example, which they probably won't do. No. But I'll tell you who will do it. This guy here, for example. Oh, we already have a trade agreement with them, that's right. So since we already have a trade agreement with him, we can click on one of our merchants.
I cannot wait to hear your orders.
Click on Trade Kingdom, and now we can select Naples, which is the only one we have a trade agreement with. And it tells you it costs you 50 gold to do that, but it'll give you 15 gold from commerce. And it costs you also 10 commerce. That's what that means right here. Right now we have...
I live for profit.
See, 0 from 10, we went to 10. So that means the way it is right now, we can have 2 more trade routes until we have to fill our commerce back up. So the way you do that is simply by building certain kind of buildings, like the harbor, for example. See, it's right here, it gives you +2 commerce. So now you can also
Tomorrow we'll be richer.
you can also upgrade your trade with the kingdom, gives you more and more money. So that's actually good. So you don't even need a whole lot of merchants in order to have lots of profitable trade agreements. You can have like 2 very high upgraded trade routes instead of having just 4 regular trade routes. So that's good. So you don't even need that many merchants. Now, in order to raise an army, you will need a marshal. You can recruit here squads simply like garrisons, but they'll stay here in the garrison. But if you want to raise an army, you have to raise a marshal. Select a region like Bari.
My liege, should we march? Warm food at last!
So up here now you can recruit an army that belongs to your marshal. Down here you can recruit garrisons. So right now I can only have peasants, which they cost you 3 manpower and 20 food. Up here you can see food. So if I click here, now you see it went down here now, 6 down here, and also out of this pool, town defenders, that's a manpower right here. So it takes manpower out of here. Now those are cheap units. In order for you to build good units, you need to build barracks right here. So I just loaded my old game, and here you can see I already have lots of buildings in there, and here I already have barracks. And once you build the barracks, you can see down here, those are all the upgrades. So you have to build barracks, and then you can build swordsmith, stables, fletchers, spear makers, and so on. And then you can recruit all these other kind of units, swordsmen and all that, archers and whatnot. If you come back to the diplomat, for example, you can, if you for example want to improve relations with a kingdom,
Political view.
like say for example you see the Byzantine Empire is very big, you're kind of scared of them, you don't want them to attack you. Now you can take your
We need more allies.
king, click on improve relations, select any kingdom, click on OK,
I am on my way.
and then there's a green bar again. It takes quite a long time to improve opinions. This green bar just shows you how long it takes for him to get actually over there and start negotiations. But from there it'll still take...
Let this be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
From there it still takes a lot of time. So we know now what the
What a
merchants
fine
do.
day to trade.
They can trade, they can also supply army, which is just fill them back up with food and stuff, which is... Where's my armies?
What is your command?
See here, army supplies. Can restock them.
I cannot wait to hear your orders.
You can import goods with your merchants. What that means is, let's go on the goods tabs.
Our advantages and goods.
So, these goods here are all goods that I already have buildings for, that I already have in my kingdom. Those grayed out ones, I can't produce in my kingdom. And those here, you see that's got like a kind of a bronze frame around it, this one here. Or this one here and this one here. That means I can't build them in my... I do have the resources, but I don't have no buildings yet to extract those resources or to manufacture, produce those resources. So, if you, for example, you see here, this right here, masonry. Now, if you have all these resources here in this masonry tab, you can hover over there and it tells you, it gives you kind of bonuses. You see, plus 100 siege defense, plus 25% production, and so on. Now, we have all those goods required except for lime. So now you can look here at the goods tab.
Political view.
And there's now the map with all the goods. And now you can, if you can find it, it's kind of alphabetically ordered, I believe. Yes, starts with ale, that's right. So what did we need? Lime would be right here. So now if I click on lime, all these that are grayed out now are kingdoms that produce lime. So now you say, I really want to have that lime so I can have my kingdom advantage tab filled out. So you click on, for example, well, this is Threeds, or what is that? Actual papal states. Aragon, all these produce lime. So you can have a trade agreement with them. Like, for example, I already have one with papal states right here. You can see that on this. That's my merchant. That means he's trading with papal states. So I can click here now.
Where can we profit?
And then you can import goods. And now you click here. But even though they produce it, they... See, I can't import it. Usually it would show you.
What a fine day to trade.
But unfortunately...
I am at your disposal, my lord.
Unfortunately, they apparently don't have any buildings that extract the lime, which is kind of dumb because, well, you want to trade with them so you can get, thinking you can get lime, but really there's no guarantee that you actually can get lime from them if they don't actually have the building. So, but that's the only way you could do it. You could trade with all these, like I also have a trade agreement with the Byzantium. Right here.
Where can we profit?
Click on import goods and see they don't have it either. So that is really bad. Actually, in my experience, most of the time those kingdoms don't have it for some reason, but that's the way you would do it. I did get herbs. I did import herbs from Byzantium before, until they stopped producing it for whatever reason. Maybe the province was captured, but that's the only way you can get resources that you can't produce in your own nation, in your own kingdom. And where do you get those goods anyways? You can see that right here. If you click on a town, settlement, features and goods. See, horses. This settlement here is, for example, horses, and this down here tells you you are actually producing horses. Click on here. This one doesn't have much at all. This one has a lot. See, it got gold, it's got silver ore, and it's got rare game. And down here it tells you I already got a building to get furs from the rare animals. I get gold from the gold ore, and I get iron from the iron ore. This here also got lots of cows. I got meat. So that's how you can see what your kingdom produces. Look, I get a whole lot of goods right here. Lots and lots of goods right here in Radio. Now, another thing to mention is, every time you start a game new, this all changes. It's never the same. So if I start a new campaign now with Sicily, it won't be no more horses, no more flags. It'll be completely random. I might be producing gold here now or something. So that's always completely random, which is kind of weird in a way, but it makes it kind of interesting because it's almost like a big puzzle. You'd never like a big mystery. You never know what you're gonna get when you start a campaign. So we know now what the merchants do. We know what the diplomats do. Another thing the diplomats do besides improve relation is improve opinion with nobility, army, merchants, clerics, and peasants. You always have a good opinion. You can see I'm all in the green here now, which is wonderful because you can see it all gives you lots of perks being in the green. Like 10 with the nobility gives you minus 50% crown authority increase cost. Crown authority increase cost is right here. You click on here, and I'm already on the maximum, so I can't. But it costs you gold and I believe books, or yeah, one or the other. And then you can increase your crown authority, and that again gives you more bonuses in taxes and so on. So that's another thing you want to do maybe with your diplomats. Now minus here, you can see what he's doing. He's improving relations, but I can also
convincing?
Call him back, clicking this button, and then improve opinions with these guys up here. He can also create defense pacts, plan an invasion. So let's start. Now we also know what the marshals do now. Basically, you need them to recruit troops and go to war with, and besiege settlements. And the clerics,
May the light guide your way.
They can bolster culture, which you can see plus 135 upkeep, which is very, very high. Bolstering culture, what do you need that for? Let me show you here real quick. Now right here, this city that I captured, Milan, from the Germans. If you hover here, you can see they're loyal to Germany. Now that was 100%, it goes down and down and down over time. Culture is Germanic. Now you click on...
Are you in need of my counsel, sire?
Bolster culture. I guess it makes it go faster, but really, for me, it's not worth it because it costs you lots of money, and it goes down anyways. I mean, it goes down from, like I said, from 100 to 51 now. And in a city, for example, here in Naples that I captured, they're already loyal to Sicily. They were loyal to Naples. They're already in my culture now. Norman Latin family, so they're already completely converted. Even though I didn't do nothing.
May God bless you, my lord.
With bolstering culture. So that's something I wouldn't do because you really don't need it. A thing that I would do, and you have to do really, is this right here, adopt population. Let me show you what that means. Adopt population. You see Milan, I captured Milan, and it is redded out with those lines right here. That means I can't build nothing right now. They're 100% loyal still to Germany. They basically hate me, and it's very likely that a rebellion will arise here. So you want to have an army here. And now I can here establish order, but I only have a 44% chance. And even if I can't do it like, see, it says it right here. Attempt to subdue Milan's population by force. So doing that will have negative effects. Relation with Germany minus 350, minus 250 relations with kingdoms in our region, stability, and so on. So I never do this. What I do is with this guy,
A blessed day.
click on adopt population, and now I can select both of those nations or settlements which are not loyal to me. Click here and it tells me it's a 55% chance, a lot better. Now it costs a lot of money, it costs books, it costs religion. So that is quite a lot, but it's definitely worth it. You have to do it, and only when you can.
I put my faith in your bidding.
Only when you've done that successfully, then you can build buildings here. Then they belong to you, like Ban right here. See, now I was able to build all this. Stability went up. And I don't have no food stocks. This down here, by the way, is your food stocks. This don't go up either. Here it went all the way up. My food stocks are way up, so that's good. And now you see the green bar, he is doing this task now. But there's only a 55% chance that he'll succeed. Now if he fails, no big deal. You do lose your money, but you can just go ahead and try it again. And spend another 2,400 till he actually is successful with it. You see, I got lots of money.
The Pope has called for a crusade.
So I don't really care. I had to try it several times with Milan and with Florence. It cost me at least 10,000.
Town authorities have been taken over, sire.
My humble mission was successful.
So you see, you've heard his mission was successful, and now the building slots are free. Now I can actually build whatever I want. Now I can, you see I got my army in here. You see the red line? That means the squadrons are not fully, well, they're not full. So I can click on here, replenish army, cost me gold, food, and so on.
This is a good strategy.
Now they're filled back up. The food was taken from here. And here I got army supplies. I can fill that back up too.
Consider it done, sire.
Click, now I'm on 100. What that means, once I move my army, it loses gradually over time.
Our queen has given birth to a beautiful princess.
Will arrive soon.
See, now it's to 99, so it
I
goes
haven't
down.
slept in a bed for ages.
And then you put them back in the town, wherever, and you can replenish them again. That's how you do that. So you have to keep that in mind when besieging a town. You always want to have your supplies full. Click on here.
At once.
And now they're filled back up. So that's what this guy here is
of my
good
counsel,
for.
sire.
And every once in a while there are missions, other missions that pop up, enlightened missions and so on that he can do. So you always want to have, like I said, at least one cleric, at least one diplomat. One spy usually is good enough. I mean, one spy, one cleric, I don't think you ever need more than one of those. I have right now, I think I have 4 merchants.
What a fine day to trade.
2, 3, 4. Yes, I got 4 merchants because I play greedy king, so I'm all on money. That's why I'm making lots of money. I got 4 merchants. I only got 2 marshals because I have a small kingdom, and really that's all I need. Like if you're playing with Germany, for example, since they got a huge empire, you might want to have 3 or 4 marshals. And see, that's another mission that
I'll
comes
need
up.
a larger treasury.
So for your characters, there are missions that pop up every once in a while, makes it more interesting. For example, this one right here is pretty good. Try reselling goods to gain 8,600. So I can spend 3,500 and I have a 66% chance to gain 8,600. So that's like playing kind of like a gambling. You can lose it all, or you can spend a little and make a whole lot. So that's kind of things that pop up every once in a while. And the success chance depends largely on your character's character level. So let's talk about this for a second. You see right here, you see this number 12? That means he's got four traits, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's in all of them level 3. See, level 3 negotiation, level 3 logistics. So 3 times 4 is 12. That's what that number here means. And your king, he always starts with level 3 in everything. Your other characters you need to level up first. Now I could give him another trade right here. I got one more slot. I could click on, see it's already level 3, level 3. I could click on here. And then
My humble skills are improving.
see, now he got that skill here too. And it shows you what all it does. And to level up your skills, you need books. That's what those books are good for. So now
A diplomatic message has arrived.
So now I got 200 books again. Now I could level up another character.
Feel the cold touch of death.
See, it's another mission that he could do. Witch hunt right here, which we're not gonna do. Says it right here. That's witch hunt. Forget opportunity. I don't want to do it. I click on him.
Everything has a price.
And see, it says 1. Only 1. That means he's got 1 trade and he's only on level 1. Now to make him level 2, I need 500 books. I don't have that right now. But what I could do is get him another trade. Like since he's a spy, assassination would be good for him. Kill the king, give some character level and whatever. Click on this.
I learned a new trick or two.
See, now we got a new trade. And so you level those characters up, that improves their chances for their missions. So you always want to have them leveled up. Like I, for example,
God bless you, my lord.
I don't have him leveled up at all, but I always like to level him up because he's got some good enlightenment missions and stuff. But it's always good to have a very high leveled up spy to open the gates for you when you're besieging a town and certain things like that, to burn food stocks so they surrender. Their food supply goes down when you besiege the town. So it's always good to have lots of good upgraded characters. And like I said, you do that with books, and books you get from buildings. You actually see that right here. Those books, that means those are all, this is a very good settlement here for wisdom, for knowledge, because they got these buildings here. Matter of fact, you can see it right here, how much they produce from town, from settlement, from governor. No, because if I'd have a different governor, see, he's a merchant. If I'd have like maybe a diplomat or somebody with a certain trait, he'd get even more books. I did build a university somewhere, maybe it wasn't later, but you can build universities like up here, which gives you again lots of books. So that's how you get books. That's how you get really all of those resources up here, is by buildings. You just have to look through here, so look at the different buildings, what they give you. Markets. You want to have a market in every town, really, because it gives you everything. It gives you money, it gives you books, it gives you commerce, it gives you manpower. So I always have a market in every town. Another thing I have almost everywhere, really, where I have access to water, is a harbor. Because harbors are really good too. Gives you food, commerce, and they got good upgrades right here. Plus 100 storage, that's this right here. Plus 2 commerce. Fish market. Now you do need salt for fish market, so you might have to import that. See, it says right here, we cannot produce salt in any of our provinces. So in order for me to get salt is solely by importing it from another nation. Now, one more thing I want to talk to
Did
you
you
about
collect all taxes?
these trades is you see here, it says level 3, and then it says your tradition. What does that mean? +3 in coastal settlements. This is this right here, royal family and traditions.
Your wisest of rulers and his king.
Those is are your traditions right here. You click right here, and this gold one, logistics, I already have that. Now once you're on level 3 with any trade, now then you can unlock these right here, and that'll cost you quite a bit, 600 books and 3,000 gold, but it gives you very good effects, +1 in crop farms, ×5 because I have 5 crops farms, and all this. I've got already trading, which is very good, gives +25% generated in our trade centers. So once you got a character upgraded to level 3, anything level 3, you can get traditions for it. That's what this right here is, like I said. And since we're in this window here, that's where you see your family. Once you get a new son born, your heir, you can actually choose the way for him to, either if you want to make him a merchant or a diplomat or cleric or whatever. Like I said, this one here, my king is a merchant, which is really, really, look how much money he's making, 168 from our trade here with Papal States. So matter of fact, he died later on in my Let's Play, and my money went from 1,000 every I don't even know what that is, every day or so, to down to 500 because he was such a high skilled merchant. Now one thing about armies, you can actually...
My sword is yours, sire. We'll arrive soon.
You can put armies together like you can in Total War, if you know Total War games. It works pretty much the same.
I am ready. Armies moving.
Now you see this window pops up, and now you can just trade troops. So that's pretty straightforward right here. And when
What is your command?
When you besiege a town or you fight another
As you wish.
army,
Should we march?
you can always only have 2 armies fight with you in one battle. So you can't have 3 armies fight with
One
you
of our
together.
knights is not governing a province.
You can always have two armies at the same time in one siege or in one battle. And another thing you have to watch out to,
We're marching. My sword is yours, sire.
if you enter somebody's land,
Sire, some of our provinces are left ungoverned.
now your relations can actually decrease when you do that, so you have to watch it. You might sometimes, if you want to walk through Rome right here, you might want to go on a ship and sail around, just not to make those guys here angry. That's another thing you want to watch for. So what else is there to explain? We got food, we know what commerce is. Now commerce, I always want to have at least 10 in a surplus. Now we are losing, or we are using 140 upkeep through our trade agreements, and we have 154, so that means we got 14 left to spend. And that's good, because every once in a while a trade deal pops up that costs, for example, mostly 10 commerce, and then that way you can do it. You don't have to wait till build some more buildings. I always want to have like 10 left over to spend at least. Even 20 would even be better, because sometimes those trade opportunities cost you 20 commerce, like export food to somebody. So you always want to have your food stocks high too, because with food you can upkeep a huge army, and also if you have surplus food, you can trade that with other kingdoms and get more money for it. So always have lots of food, have 10 to spare, Religion you need for certain missions and some buildings. This, like I said, you need for upgrading your characters, for traditions, and so on. And money you really need for everything. That's pretty straightforward. Oh, right here, we're Crown Authority, level 4 now. Now I could click right here. See now, actually I could do that right now. See, it cost me 3,900 and 1,000 religion. So one thing to mention about this, it only goes to 1,000. You can't stockpile it anymore. So you might as well use it.
Our crown authority has increased.
So now our crown authority has increased. We're back to 0 and we're filling it back up.
Our advantages and goods.
Okay, I've already showed you this thing right here that basically just shows you if you can't have all the goods of one of those windows like Age of War, it gives you these certain bonuses like we already talked to. So this one here I already had full. I couldn't quite get it filled up because I had nobody was able to trade lime with me. I wasn't able to import lime. That's why I couldn't complete this. The cows I was able to build in my own country, but the lime I couldn't get a hold of it. Another window I didn't show you yet.
These are the mightiest nations known to man.
So this basically just shows you the standing. I'm actually level 1 right now in the mightiest nations. Once you're at fame 5,000, you can claim victory, and there are the different kinds of wealth, society, culture, and so on. So I'm rank 1 at finances, commercial power, and so on. You can just click on it and you can see, okay, I'm number 1, Kiev's number 2, and so on and so forth. Gives you just a kind of overview. Where is your kingdom compared to the other nations in the world? So what else is there? Stability is a very important thing. Gives you perks. High stability is good for all this: crown authority, espionage, defense, and so on. And high stability, that's your whole kingdom stability, also affects your town stability, because it says you right here. See, the provincial stability is 15, and there are the factors. This loyal population makes it -19. Cultural tensions. See, that's this right here. Culture and loyalty. Now this goes down. This will keep going down. But until this here is loyal to you and adapts your culture, this will always have this negative impact. But then because we got a huge kingdom stability, it gives us +42, which is awesome. So that's why we still have a high stability, fairly high stability here. And then you got happiness, which happiness is achieved by building buildings. For example, here in I think in the market you can build a pub, and there are certain buildings you can build that improve your happiness. Yeah, the inn, see, +2 happiness, see, and other things. This is, yeah. So that's how you get your stability up in those towns. So is there anything else to tell you guys? I mean, you can look at these. That's pretty self-explanatory. You can marry with other factions, which is good if your heir, for example, if you have a son. Do I actually have a son with him?
Sire, I present to you the royal family.
No, I don't have one yet. I have a princess. But if if my king wouldn't have a wife yet, and I wouldn't have any children yet, then I'd like to get him married as quick as I can so I can get a heir. And that's his brother and his 2 brothers. They're right here also in my court. He is anyways, this guy's not. So I believe that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much more to say. If you have any questions, anything that I didn't mention, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'm trying to help you the best that I can. So thanks for watching.